Okay, so chances are you've seen these around town, and if you haven't, you really need to go looking for them. They're just really cool. Whether you have seen them or not, it's called wall therapy, and it's helping transform Rochester's urban landscape. Just incredible stuff.
You see it and you're like, how did that get there? Who did it? I want to know more. Toby Watika is standing by at the public market with one of the people who helped makes it all happen with the backstory. And wow, that site behind you, Toby. Wow.
Yeah, you guys see this, right? I mean, look at this. This is incredible. This is wall therapy. This is what you see across Rochester, around our area. And believe it or not, this doesn't take very long to put up. That's how incredible these artists are. We're going to learn more about these artists, more about these pictures right now. So I want to bring in a couple of guys who have a lot to do with this. In fact, you guys are as big a reason as any as this even exists. We're talking to Ian Wilson. He's the founder and co-curator, along with Erich Lehman, also the co-curator and lead organizer for wall therapy. And guys, let's take it back a little bit here. How does this all get started here in Rochester, New York?
Well, we started back in 2011. Interestingly, right here at the public market at the underpass on North Union Street. So it's very interesting that now, in our 5th year, we're back at the public market doing this amazing work.
So you're up to 5 years of this, and you now have, what, over 100 of these murals across Rochester? It's really grown, and it's now really painting our city's landscape now.
Absolutely. It's turning the city into a free public art gallery, and if you become a fan of the project, you end up exploring your city in a totally new way. You learn new neighborhoods. You're going to places that you've probably never go to because you're kind of caught in your rut for the day.
What kind of feedback do you get from people in these communities? Because these are giant easels, essentially. These are giant canvases. What kind of feedback are you getting from people who these paintings and these pictures, you're putting smack dab in the middle of their neighborhoods?
Definitely a majority positive. You know, I mean, you create art in a public space. Not everyone's going to like it, but it's been overwhelmingly positive for, again, the over 100 murals that we've created so far. There's a couple of detractors, but not many.
How do you go about choosing where to put these? Because they really are all over the city. They're not just isolated to one specific neighborhood, one specific type of building. How do you go about finding where you're going to put these pictures?
It's a mix. We drive around a lot, and sometimes you see a wall that just screams to have something painted on it. At this point now, because we have a good rapport and a good reputation, we constantly are getting emails from people who are offering up their walls, and it's just a matter of figuring out what wall will work best with which artist and vice versa, and then figuring out the character of the neighborhood and trying to best pair up those artists with those areas.
You talk about the artists. They're not just Rochesterians. They're not even just Americans. You guys have people that come in from all over the world, including this year. You have folks coming in from Germany. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Absolutely. We got a whole contingent of artists from Germany, Switzerland, Sweden. This project started out as an international project from its inception. And that first year, there were 4 artists from Cape Town that came to Rochester. And so artists have always traveled from far and wide to come here during July to paint during wall therapy. Absolutely.
Now we're talking more about new art that's going up too. Right? Because you have over 100 now, but there's more going up over the next week or so.
Yeah, we're looking at about 10 to 15 by the time we're done with the week, depending on how fast they finish the murals.
And how many artists are in town right now to work on all of these murals?
Including our locals, we've got 13 working right now, and one more comes on the 23rd from Brazil.
And now people can go see all of these artists do their work, correct?
Absolutely. We have on wall-therapy.com. If you go to maps, the first one says 2015 maps. You can have it's a 8.5 by 11 size map that you can pull down and see, largely along Main Street this year, over a couple mile stretch.
Okay.
And then, you know, everyone is free to come and watch. That's part of the experience, both for the residents as well as the artists, getting to really learn about the fabric of the city and why we love it so much.
All right, well, we're going to learn more about where you can see more of these murals and more of these pictures, including this one. I want to know more about this one because it's amazing, and I'm seeing it with my own 2 eyes. Back to you guys in the studio.
Love that. I love the concept, and you know what? It does. It transforms the space, and it makes it something you have to stop and sort of gawk at for a little bit in a good way, you know, because you just want to see it.
Yeah, and oftentimes they're like, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5 stories.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Wow.
it transforms the whole space. It's awesome.
Toby mentioned we're going to find out more from him coming up next.